Hi, hello, how are you? I'm Pia. So in this vlog, I'm going to be brainstorming and planning my next book, which I kind of like briefly mentioned when I finished my last book, which was the last video you saw from me. To be frank, I have started and stopped other video projects in that time at various stages. That's kind of what happens to me. But I am very excited. I'm taking a pivot. So kind of all of my like finished, completed drafts of books that I've written have been young adult contemporary books. They've been romances, they've been rom-coms, they've been books like that. And I want to dip my toes into a bit of a romantasy, perhaps standalone or duology, I'm not sure. And I want like a historical romance fantasy. It's kind of what I wanted. And I have lots of like ideas floating around in my head. I kind of know like what kind of the magic's gonna look like and stuff like that. And general beats of the plot, but I want to take some time. I have 2 days off, which is very rare for me in a row. Working full-time, very rare for me. So I am going to spend these 2 days just like doing a lot of brainstorming. I made a whole video last year when I was brainstorming my last book of like what I do to like really plan out a book. And I'm gonna do that for the most part, but it might look a little bit different because I'm kind of feeling more free flow about this book. And I also think it's gonna be like my November writing project. So I'm not like, it doesn't need to be super firm or set in stone right now, because this was just one of my goals in August. My goals for August were I needed to find a new job. I needed to apply to grad school, which the application hasn't opened yet, but I did get into my classes for fall, so that's exciting. And I wanted to plan this new book. So we're doing pretty good. I have a job interview in 15 minutes. So we're doing good on the goals. Reading and rereading, like I want to read some more things that are inspiring it. Divine Rivals is a huge comp for this book. I just started rereading Daughter of Smoke and Bone, which I don't know how much it's gonna relate to this book, but it is one of my favorite like young adult fantasies that I read as a young adult. So I am reading that and I think that's gonna influence maybe the writing style. Perhaps. I love Laini Taylor's writing. But I did pull out my good old Save the Cat because I haven't like legitimately looked at this in a long time, because I bought this when I was taking a screenwriting class and I used it for my screenwriting class and I have not touched it since. You can use this for a book. There is like a novel version, but it's the same exact thing. Like I'm just gonna like take a brief look at this because even though it's gonna have like most of my books have had like the romance be like really the central thing, and the romance is gonna be the central thing, but it's also gonna have a plot of something going on. And I have to figure out what that is. Maybe it'll be a cozy historical romantic fantasy. I do love those. It could be that. I don't know. We'll find out. It just has to have some sort of like semblance of a plot. So I'm gonna kind of like brush up on this. And this has always been like my favorite plotting device. I really like Save the Cat. I kind of always use it in the back of my head, but I don't consult it a lot. And then I do have another book that is hopefully going to inspire the magic system. I want it to be rooted in a cultural significance that I haven't actually seen before in a fantasy book, or at least in a YA fantasy book. I'm not sure how helpful the book I bought is going to be. It seems like a little practical magic-y. It seems like for modern day witches. And yeah, I'm not sure what that's gonna do for me, but I'm happy to learn. Happy to learn. Off and on, like I worked on it after I talked to you. I didn't actually end up having the job interview that I was supposed to, like something happened, and we're rescheduling it. So I did end up working on the brain dump document because this is historical. I am just like doing a lot of like Googling and researching of like the context, not even like necessarily things that are happening in this book, but just like the background of the context of like knowing what's going on. This is going to be, as of right now, I'm saying a post-World War II novel. It just messed up my lighting. Blah. Yeah, so this is taking place post-World War II. I'm not sure like how directly after, but I was gonna make this like happening during the war because one of my favorite things to read as a child, which was really crazy, were World War II historical fictions. One of my favorite things to read as a child. And I was thinking about doing something like that, but I kind of came up with this new thing. And like I said, I did kind of figure out the main conflict. which is kind of like, I don't want to tell you, I've been watching a lot of like period dramas and I do wish in some ways that this was like set in the Gilded Age or something beautiful like that. I'm watching The Buccaneers right now and it's really affecting me because I'm watching so much of it so fast. It's not set in the Gilded Age, okay? It's set post World War II. I don't know how soon after World War II. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out together. I'm thinking like 50s, especially because of like the actual things that are happening in the town where this is set are related, and that happens like 61 is like the thing that happens, and so the planning happens in the 50s. So I'm like, I am thinking about it. I do have most of the characters pretty much figured out of their general roles in the story. We've got a main character. We've got her 2 love interests. Because I do want to write a love triangle. Thank you very much for asking. I want to write a love triangle so bad that emulates my favorite love triangles, which my favorite one is obviously from the Infernal Devices. So I want it to be like that, but I also want it to be queer. So that's what is going on there. And then we have family relations, family ties. I think the next thing I'm gonna work on tomorrow is kind of like just gathering some scene ideas. The main conflict, I don't know what the resolution is. No. Do I know how to solve this problem? I'm not sure how like intense I want this book to be, because I do want it to be like mostly a romance and a romantic historical fantasy, but it obviously is gonna have some deeper, darker elements going on. So I'm not sure like how much I want to get involved in that. And so I have asked my friends for some recommendations of a certain type of genre that I'm not very familiar with. And I'm wondering how they handle, because it's not like a dark romance. I don't want this at all to be a dark romance. I don't want you to be concerned about the safety. Well, you could be concerned about the safety of the characters, but like not of the main characters. Like I don't want you to be concerned about my main besties. But the side characters, you could definitely, we could kill some of them off, I think. I haven't killed off characters in a book in a really long time, so really excited about that. Don't know how things are gonna unfold. What else have I told you? What else can I tell you about me figuring this book out? I read that book that I told you about, the book about the magic within that's gonna be present in this story. A lot of it I kind of already knew from my own life, because I didn't realize I was like, have lived with so much like spirituality and growing up and stuff. So a lot of it I was familiar with, and I'm gonna just kind of like play around with some different ideas. I do want there to be a curse. I think it's time that I write a book about a curse. I don't know how prevalent the curse is gonna be in this book, but I want there to be a curse. This is so much like brain dump. Like this video is brain dump because like genuinely there's no plot. I want there to be a curse of some sort because I love reading about curses. And I have an idea of how that can happen and just what that entails. But I think there should be a curse. Yeah, so I think tomorrow is gonna be kind of just like figuring out some scene ideas, kind of trying to put them in some semblance of an order in a 3-act structure. I'll probably see what I can come up with, because I do have some ideas now. Like I want there to be a wedding. I don't know if I'm gonna like come up with some scene ideas and then do a little flip through peruse of Save the Cat and then probably come up with more ideas, or what will come first. But that's the idea. I have been watching a lot of Buccaneers and crocheting today. Just generally chilling. I'll update you on my crochet project right now, or not right now. Maybe I'll do a time lapse, because I'm making a blanket and it's coming along very swimmingly. Very excited about it. I do always give my projects a little nickname. My last book, it's called TS. This book is what we're gonna call Salt right now. We're gonna call it Salt. I don't have a title for this. This is like one of the few times that I have not like immediately thought of a title when I've thought of an idea for a book. I usually like think about it. It's like one of the first things I come up with. And yeah, it's called Salt for now, because I actually have no idea what to title this book that like encapsulates all the things it's about, because it's like a historical romance fantasy set in the 50s. Set in a different country. Like, I don't know what to call it. So it's called Salt. I have some ideas of titles, but I don't really like on any of them. That's the update for now. That's kind of like all the random things I'm like, I want there to be a love triangle. I want there to be a curse. I want there to be betrayal and death. So far, that's what I've got for this book. And hey, that's okay. If it sounds interesting to you, then that's all I need. Hello friends, it has been a minute and don't mind my appearance. I just woke up, but I wanted to like quickly update you where I look a little bit more put together as I do on my days off. It's another one of my days off, which means I worked like 3 or 4 days and now I'm back to having a day off. And I just want to share this with you because I don't know if other people have this, but I think I'm only able to have kind of like dreams, or like especially like dreams I can manipulate and dreams I can remember when I'm like sleeping in and I'm kind of doing a doze in the morning, which only really happens on my days off and things like that. So that happened this morning and I was dreaming and I was in the scenes in this new book, Salt. I just absolutely like, I am so excited about it. I was just like I was getting all these ideas, you know, like I was telling you that first scene, I was like, I have an idea of where it starts, and then I was kind of thinking about more things and I was like, oh, you know, thinking about the ambitions of this character, maybe we should have a scene like this. And it's kind of perfect. Really excited that this is how I started my day because, sorry if you can hear the coffee maker, but really excited that this is how I started my day because today is all about brainstorming scene ideas, which I didn't do that day I told you I was going to. I went to the movies instead for like 4 hours. So that's what I did. Today is all gonna be about brainstorming scene ideas and kind of like doing a loose plotting of the book. And so I need some scenes that are gonna happen. And I was just thinking about that. And yeah, it's just like how I woke up this morning. I woke up like in my book, which was really, really freaking cool. So very excited about that. I also I have like a big ambitious list of things I'm doing today. It's not even super ambitious. It's just like ambitious because I have been like spending literally every free moment of mine crocheting. I did finish the blanket I was working on that I showed you earlier, and now I'm starting a sweater, or I already started a sweater. It's gonna be a checkerboard sweater. It's really cute. I'm like on the second row of squares. So I'm working on that. So I'm gonna try not to crochet all day, which is what I do like to do, but I don't have a TV show to watch anymore because I finished The Buccaneers, so that's upsetting. Oh, but I also want to just kind of like start to like outline my new query letter for TS, because that I want to be querying in fall. You know, after I do this like third draft that's going to be mostly kind of line level stuff, like a couple tweaks in plot, but not anything really huge. There's not gonna be a lot of heavy lifting unless I get something back soon from someone, but I so far haven't gotten anything back. So I'm also gonna send out an email to the people I sent the book being like, hey, do you wanna send me feedback or not? Because like draft 3 is starting. I wanna say September 1st, but I'm working September 1st, and September 2nd I'm traveling. So starting September 5th, maybe. I'm like, all right, September 3rd, I have a job interview. September 4th, I have my first class. September 5th. Starting the first week of September, let's say. I don't have any like big major changes that I'm thinking of for that, so I'm gonna like start crafting the query letter because I've had like success in my query letter, so I know it's like I know how to do it and I've done like a lot of research on it before. So I just need to kind of like start working on the query package a little bit. Because I usually like to get that ready around this part in the process, and it should be pretty fun. Oh, there she is. Okay, I am not going to ramble too much longer while I look like this in my pajamas, but I will update you again when I am probably working more on the book. I am gonna crochet a little this morning. Don't tell anyone. I'll show you my crochet project that I'm working on. I didn't brush my hair this morning, but I did get dressed. Good for me. So I've been working on this outline for like a little less than an hour. And it's a little more detailed than I thought. I thought I was gonna do like broad strokes of things that are happening. But like I said God, this was like a while ago now, but for me, but not for you. I don't know like the solution to the conflict of this book. And like obviously there's a lot of this is like, it's a romantasy. It's like, it's got a lot of romance. I'm like mostly figuring out like the plot. You know, romance can be plot, but I wanted to have a good mix of both because it's also kind of a post-World War II novel. It's also kind of a magical novel. Like it's gotta have some plot to it, right? Aside from the romance. So I'm not really working too hard on like the romance beats right now. Like I have the meet cute. I don't know. It's a meet cute. Yeah. And I have like a couple sprinklings of romance in here, but I'm mostly working on the plot because I'm trying to figure out a solution to the conflict that I proposed. And I think I figured it out. Do I know how necessarily it's gonna happen? Not really, but I think like with faith, trust, and pixie dust, I'll figure it out. Yeah, like I think it kind of makes sense, but like I'm also trying to think of like what like the third act conflict is gonna be, because there's obviously gonna be like, oh, actually, I know what it is. I know what part of it is. Let me write this down. I think something big needs to happen because we're dealing with a big bad of sorts. And, yeah, but I do think I know what like the third act breakup is going to be, even though I'm not sure how much together they're gonna be in this book. But yeah, I'm not sure like how romancy this book is gonna get. I mean, it's gonna be a romance. I just am not there yet. Like I'm in such early days, you know? Like the funny thing about this book is like, I do want it to be cozy and I do want it to be like light, you know, light magic, kind of like, I want all, like, I don't know. I think a lot of people like that I talk to expect me to be writing these like deep, dark literary fiction novels, which I love reading. I love reading them. I love reading a book that makes me depressed. Historically, my favorite book is like Normal People. So I do love like deep, emotional, character-driven books. But what I try to do in my books is always kind of bring some sort of light, even if we're dealing with a darker topic. That's literally always what I've done in my books. I always touch on like darker things, things that are really hard to deal with, things that are hard-hitting topics. I always do things like that, but I always try to take like a lighter tone, lighter approach. I always try to see like the hope in it. It's like always what I try to do. So this being, I can't tell you like what like one of the central things is about this book, but you're gonna be like, oh, so it's a dark romance. And it's like, absolutely not. But like every other book that uses this as a plot device, as a thing in their books are dark romances, and this is absolutely not a dark romance. So it's interesting. Especially because I'm like, one of the comps for this book is, so one is like Divine Rivals, I said, and then one is a classic movie that I think is like, I think it's just like kind of funny. I don't know if it makes sense, but that's what I'm doing. But anyway, I ended up being a little bit more detailed in my outlining than I was kind of planning on. I was kind of just like, I'm just gonna like work on this outline until my computer dies because I'm reading this mafia book right now. It's this dark romance. Again, I'm trying to like read more romance books because I kind of took a break from them for a while, but now I'm back in it. And I got this recommendation from my best friend and she was like, read Arena Kent, and I'm reading Arena Kent. And there's like this, it's not an arranged marriage, but I'm wondering if like an arranged marriage would be kind of fun. I, again, haven't really thought about the romance much in this, other than the fact that I'm like, we've got an enemy and we've got a friend, and they're, you know, and the enemy and the friend, they're close, but the main character, who is she gonna pick? I know who she's gonna pick. And that's like the fun thing. I have to like not let this stress me out, like all the unknowns about like outlining a book, because there's like so much to figure out, but that's like that's the fun. I'm like still making shit up, so that's like really fun. But I think I am gonna stop. I'm in act 2 so far with my planning. Like I don't have act 3 figured out, but that's mostly Dark Night of the Soul, resolution, whatever, climax, what. I did bring her out, just flipping through, just kind of like making sure I'm following a cohesive structure. There's a little elf picture in there. That's so exciting. I'm also like turning back to my, which I am gonna do more when I add more of the romance beats in, is the romancing the beat, which I have like all written down because I was using that when I was outlining draft 2 of my last book to like look at. Which the thing with these like outline things like with these plotting devices and stuff, like I think I have it all up here. I really do. I think it's all up here. But sometimes seeing it and being like, oh, this is the point where they need to be at blank space at this part in their emotional journey is helpful. So, yeah, I'm gonna stop with my little outline for now. I do want to work on the query letter a little bit. It's okay. It's okay. I can do it. I can do it. And the thing about me is I can do it. I'm also going to go to a new bookstore today, so I'm gonna take you along for that as well. I'm gonna work more on my crocheting. I'm gonna bake some cookies. So I'm like doing a couple little like lifestyle-y fun things. Don't know if I will ever go back to like a normal like weekly reading vlog type of thing, just because I don't know if like being a book reviewer is like that important to me at this point in my life anymore, because like writing books is kind of like really important to me and I kind of want that to be more of what I'm known for. But I still do read a lot, and I will like let you know the things that I'm reading in my writing vlogs. But just in case you were like wondering when I'm ever, I do miss like a reading challenge. Like, you know, I miss like a 24-hour readathon, but I just like don't think I'm really gonna be doing much of that in the future. So sorry if you're missing that, but I do love watching those videos. I'm gonna work on my query letter. I'm probably gonna eat lunch, and then I'm gonna go run my errands. I have to go to the grocery store and stuff to get stuff for my cookies that I'm making, and I'm gonna go to the bookstore as well. I think I'm gonna go bookstore, grocery store, back home, cookies, and crocheting. And I have to show you my sweater that I'm crocheting right now. It's really cute. I like the colors a lot. It's like a fall. Hello friends. I have like lovely light streaming in from this window, so it's a little bit weird. But I have a couple of updates for you, mainly. Oh, so I did work on my query letter. I wrote like the first, Hilda, again, I actually don't know how to like do broad strokes of anything. So I wrote like the first 3 paragraphs. I kind of rewrote and we reworked things a couple times, but like I wrote like the first 3 paragraphs basically up to like the introduction of the fake dating plot is what I got up to, and then my computer died. So that's that update. I did go out and do my errands, so I have a little book haul for you. But I also want to show you my crochet projects, because over here is the blanket that I was crocheting. I don't know what at what point you last saw this, but it is pretty big. It's a big star blanket. I basically just like found a star blanket YouTube video and I followed that, and I just kind of did this pattern. It's kind of fall like Halloween-ish. So I did this. Took me like 2 weeks. So I worked on that, and now I'm working on a sweater, and it's gonna be like a checkerboard kind of design. So far this is what we have. We have 1 row completed, and it's like a lot of things, but these are the colors. It's kind of like a grayish tan and like a slate blue. Good for fall. So that's what I'm working on there. And then finally my book haul. Hilda will be behind me. I spent so much money at this bookstore, but it was so cute. I didn't even like, I was gonna like film some B-roll or something while I was there, and I didn't even think about it because I started picking things up, and then I was like, I have to get out of here because I was like, I'm gonna be spending so much money, and I did spend so much money. But let me show you what I found. So I'll go in order in which I found things. So first I found this gorgeous, the special edition of People We Meet on Vacation. I was very excited about this coming out. I've been on like Emily Henry's mailing list for like a very long time. So like I got the email when this was coming out, and I was gonna buy this because I have read, this is the Emily Henry book that I've read the most. I don't like, I'm not like a stan. I'm not an Emily Henry stan. There are books of hers that I don't like. There are books of hers that I like. But People We Meet on Vacation is my favorite. And I've read it many, many times. So I felt I could justify this, even though it was so expensive. But let's do a little tour. So we have, I mean, it's so pretty. We have the cover, the rose gold foiling, and we have this sprayed edge design with the beach. And then it says, on vacation, you can be anyone you want on the back. And then the end papers says, you're home to me. I really honestly justified all these purchases to myself already. Like I spent the entire like time like driving to the grocery store after I went to the bookstore, just like justifying the purchases I made. Worth $35. Inflation. Ask me any day about inflation, because I talk about it and I think about it all the time. And then I found Dungeon Crawler Carl, which I literally was watching a video this morning of someone who was reading one of the sequels to this, because I think it's like, gonna be like a 10-book series or something. And I've been meaning to pick this up, but I've only been listening to audiobooks recently, and I couldn't find the audiobook for this, and I saw very few like editions of this on Pango, and I was gonna buy it on Pango. But I didn't buy it on Pango. I was gonna buy it on Pango, and I was like, the only other way I could have gotten this is if I like downloaded the ebook, but I felt like this was a book I wanted to own. I don't know. everyone's reading it right now. Everyone's loving it, and I think I'm gonna love it. Very excited about this. This might be like the next book I read, honestly, because I'm very excited about it. And I'm always like looking for like cute little postcards or stuff like that. And then I saw this notebook, and this is going to be the notebook for Salt. It is absolutely perfect. Like, it's so like, it's, oh, I'm so obsessed with it. It's so like sea, beach, it's so aquamarine core. Like, I love it. I almost like wish like I was writing like a mermaid book or something, but it is so perfect for my little beach seaside town and the book that I'm writing. So this is going to be the book notebook for that. I needed a book notebook because I always have a notebook for every book. So this is kind of perfect. It's like a great size, and it's like very nice. I love it. So I already make the cookie dough. It is sitting in the fridge. I'm just gonna chill for a little bit, and I'm going to work on my sweater, and Hilda's right next to me. I don't know if he's here. And I'm gonna listen to the audiobook of the Rena Kent book that I'm listening to right now. Lovely friends, it is time for me to end. I did start working in my little notebook that I got. I haven't like, and I feel like I forget every time, and I come on the vlog and I say, man, I love handwriting. I love writing things down on paper, and I genuinely forget every time. So, love doing that. I just kind of was working out like the magic system and was working out some spells that I thought they might use and some like kind of potions and things that they might be brewing. And that's kind of what I was working on for the most part, just kind of getting the magic system down. But I'm definitely going to use the notebook a lot more. I do think like it's going to really come in handy for like a fantasy book where a lot needs to be like hammered out. I think like the next thing I really want to do is like kind of like dive more into my characters and kind of explore them a little bit more. I have to figure out their zodiac signs and things like that, like physically what they look like, how they act, whatever. And then I'll kind of try to get more into figuring out the second half of Act 2 and Act 3. I think I am kind of figuring out, like I did kind of figure out the climax, and I do kind of know like a kind of a resolution of how we're gonna defeat the big bad. But we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Anyway, thank you so much for sticking around and watching this little video of mine. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know how your writing projects are going, where you're at in the process. I'm really excited to honestly go back to editing, and really excited to start first drafting again, even though it's kind of a few months out, but very excited about it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and do all the things, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!